Is this deep listening a different thing than searching?
Yes, searching is the prelude to this deep listening.
The prelude.
Searching is the path we take to the pathless path.
Okay.
So our search brings us, in almost all cases, if not in all cases, that this deep listening is preceded by the great search. So the great search takes place on the horizontal line of time.
Right.
The deep listening is a plunge into the vertical dimension of being. But most people take some time, usually many years, to find this seam, this crack in the world where you slip out of time and sink into the vertical dimension of being, which is what you call deep listening. It's a very nice phrase. So this deep... So most of us need to continue searching on the line of time and refine our search. We're no longer, and we referred to it a few times this week, we no longer search for the conventional objects, substances, activities. Our search becomes more and more refined. We stop searching in the conventional world. We start seeking in the spiritual world, practices, teachers, methods, and so on. That's an extension in time of the conventional search for happiness in the world, but it's still a search. Sooner or later, that search brings itself to an end on the line of time, and that's this. Then you sink into this vertical dimension of being. That's the pathless path, this deep listening. So,
like you said yesterday, sinking into the ocean.
It's a sinking. It's not. It's the arrow. Is proceeding along a line of time. Always an arrow, by definition, goes towards something. And if it's going towards something, it's on the line of time. That's the great search. But the deep listening, the ocean, where is the ocean going? Oceans don't go anywhere.
Infinite space.
All the rivers go into the ocean, but the ocean doesn't go anywhere. So this deep listening, the pathless path, simply being, is more like an ocean than an arrow. But most of us need to spend a certain amount of time as an arrow, proceeding along the line of time, searching, seeking, refining our seeking, so that now we're undergoing practices and making spiritual efforts and devoting ourselves to a teacher or a teaching and so on. These are all really that's just a prelude. It's just the introduction, but the real, it's all a preparation for this deep listening or sinking into being, and then we step off the line of time. We stand in eternity.
Beautiful. It's just such a wonderful explanation. A tiny semantic question.
Yeah.
Can sinking into and merging into be synonymous, or is that a different?
Yes, it's different. Merging. Well, I'll just permit merging. It's because in merging there are always two entities. One entity merging with another. So merging would be a very still on the line of time, a very fine. It's yoga, merging, union between of two. But this sinking is in being. There's not room for two. There's no room in the infinite for the finite. Only the finite mind knows finite things. In the infinite, there's no room for the finite in the infinite, because if there were something finite in the infinite, that little finite thing would displace a little bit of the infinite's infiniteness, and then the infinite would no longer be infinite. So for the infinite, there's no room for the finite. There's just the infinite, just the one. And that, abiding as that, that's the pathless path. That's the deep listening.
Right. It's in a way, some ways I'm visualizing, as I say, the sinking. The time is horizontal line, sinking is the vertical line, but it is no vertical line. It's actually just a point. And as you said the other day, the point on the paper is actually infinity.
The point is the way the finite mind represents the now in its conventional language of time. The best the mind can say, the mind that is used to thinking along a line of time, the best the mind can say is that the now is a moment. That's why we have in New Age thinking that they talk a lot about the present moment. The present is a moment for the mind. But for the one, for the infinite, the present is not a moment, it is eternity.
Yeah.
But eternity and time intersect at the now.
Oh my God. It's heaven, it's opening up. I'm here. Oh my God.
And just to give you your homework, I won't elaborate it, but what we call here is the equivalent with respect to our perceptions. The here is to our perceptions what the now is to our thoughts. In other words, I am now going to elaborate it. I can't help myself, I'm sorry. Thinking takes place in two dimensions. And that the two dimensions in which thought takes place is called time, and now is conceived by thought as a moment in time. Perception, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling, but let's just consider seeing, takes place in three dimensions of space, not just two dimensions of time. So what we call here, just as the now is considered by the mind to be a moment in time, what the mind considers to be the location here, the place called here, is a place in space. Whenever we, for instance, you all now think, I'm sitting here, that place here, from the point of view of the perceiving mind, is a location, a place in space. But for the one, here is not a place in space, because prior to thinking and perceiving, there is no time and space. So the here is represented by the mind as a dot, as a place in space. But in fact, it is the infinite.
Right.
The infinite means not finite, which doesn't mean extended indefinitely in all dimensions. It means of no dimension. So the place where your experience is taking place now, the mind thinks it's taking place at a place in space and at a moment in time. It's not. It's taking place in eternity, and it is infinite. It has what we call here. It's a placeless place. It has no dimensions. Remember E.E. Cummings, love is a place. And in this place of love, move with brightness of peace, all places. Yes is a world, and in this world of yes, live, skillfully curled, all worlds. So love is this placeless place. Love is the placeless place, where all this dimensionless place, which the mind construes as a place in space, but which is not, has no dimensions. And if we close our eyes now, we don't need to do this now, but try this. We've been doing it this week. If you close your eyes and you ask yourself, if this were my first experience, you are having the experience that this experience is taking place now, and this experience is taking place here. But if you were to ask yourself, what is this? What am I referring to as now? And what am I referring to as here? Prior to thought and perception. If you turn off thought and perception, so to speak, what remains? What remains is not a moment in time or a place in space. You have no knowledge of time or space, but you are having the knowledge of being. You are having the experience of being. But prior to thought and perception, there is no experience of the awareness of being taking place in time or space. That experience is, in that experience we stand in eternity as the infinite. What I'm trying to describe is actually our experience now, when our experience is divested of the limitations that thought and perception superimpose onto it. And it is that experience that the artist wants to make visible, tangible, tasteable, seeable, hearable, touchable. Remember, Cézanne, I want my paintings to give people the taste of nature's eternity, not just to think about, not just here, but he wanted to take people by the hand viscerally. I want my work to give people the taste of nature's eternity. What could be more intimate than that? The taste of eternity. That's what an artist's job is. Or a poet, or a cook, or a writer, or a dancer, or an architect, or a filmmaker.
People who've been with all of us who have been here with you this week, we all felt that at some level today, this week, for sure. Thank you so much.